In this video, you'll learn how to create a neat and tidy backside for your embroidery hoop with felt. Hey there, this is Sarah with the Notorious needle, and I want to help you break the rules of conventional cross stitch so you can stitch whatever you want. For this project, you'll need your finished embroidery, felt backing big enough to cover the back of your embroidery hoop, pair of scissors to cut the backing, a marker or pen to outline your hoop, a larger than usual embroidery needle. You will want an embroidery needle with a pointy tip and a pair of scissors. This pattern is available in my Etsy shop and the link is below. If you join the Notorious NOOK VIP list, you'll get an instant 20% off. Before you begin, you might want to check my previous embroidery hoop video in which I finished the back of this piece of cross stitch this way. Doing the back of your hoop this way will help you attach the felt backing. First, place your embroidery hoop on top of the felt. Then, using your marker or pen, trace the hoop. Next, use your scissors to cut out the felt backing. Doesn't have to be embroidery scissors, it can be regular scissors. Anything that will cut through the felt is fine. Test the piece of felt backing on the back of your hoop and make sure that it's the fit you want. There should be enough material to cover all of the 8 cloth with none left over. I traced mine a little bit too big. I'm gonna go ahead and trim off a little bit. I'm using a size 22 embroidery needle with a pointy tip for this project because we will be using more than the usual number of threads. To attach the felt to the embroidery hoop, I am using 6 strands of DMC embroidery floss. I'm using 3 very long strands and then folding them in half to form a loop at the bottom so that I can use the loop start. You don't need to use embroidery floss. You can use pearl cotton or even yarn. And instead of a loop start, you could just tie a knot at the end. I'm going to start at the bottom of my hoop. I'm going to come through the 8 cloth and then again through the felt backing. And I am going to go through, put my needle back through for the loop start. And then I can begin the blanket stitch. If you decided to use a different type of floss or thread, instead of the loop start, you could tie a knot at the end and you would come between the felt and the 8 cloth and you would go through like this, and then you would come you would pull tight until the knot hits the felt and it's nice and snug, and then you would come back through the 8 cloth and through the felt in the same place that you started your knot. That would begin your blanket stitch. I decided to do the loop start, and so I'm going to continue with my blanket stitch. You want your stitches to be the same distance from left to right as they are from up to down. So when I come back through, I'm going to approximate the same distance left to right as I did up to down, and then I will come through the felt and put my needle back through the thread on top like so. Pull it nice and tight, and you have your first blanket stitch. And we'll continue going all the way across, attempting to keep my stitches as even as possible. This is how you end your thread in the blanket stitch. Simply tie it off in a knot. Your needle goes between the felt and the fabric, and then, without loosening any stitches, put the needle back through the loop in a regular knot. Cut, leaving a little bit extra of the floss or the string, and then tuck that under. And we are ready to start a new thread. When you are ready with the next string, again go under, put your needle under your previous stitch, and for the loop start, just go through the loop that you created with your thread. If you're using a knot, you will want to start your needle here where you last entered the felt, pull it all the way through, so it's coming from here, and then loop your thread under the previous blanket stitch. So if your thread is coming from here with the knot, pull the thread all the way through so that the knot is tucked back here, and then put your needle under the previous blanket stitch, and then you can continue. As you get to the end, try to do your best to eyeball and space out your stitches. Okay, when you come to the last stitch, you need to connect them. You're going to go down between the felt and the Aina cloth, and you're going to come up the same place you came up before. Loop it under here, and then loop it under the last blanket stitch. And then you can tie it off with a quick little knot the same way you did when you ended your thread, because you ran out of thread. Instead of ending it here, you're going to take your thread under the last blanket stitch, and then pull it, put your needle through the loop, and create a regular knot. Pull it nice and tight, trim it off, and then tuck the end back under the felt. There. All done. Now you have a neat and tidy backside for your embroidery hoop. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss any. It really helps the channel. Stitch on!